Okay. Okay, so this is a concordance. In the days before computer, this was like the cutting edge. You know, you really got into Hebrew, you got a thing called Evan Shoshan. And it was a great concordance because it would organize things by, I think this is the call, and maybe this is the imperative, and this is the infinitive construct, and then these are different forms. And so it collects all of those. So this would be the phrase, this would be the book. So what book would that be in? And he called, so that's the name of the book. But then you've got this and this. So what we're trying to do is figure out how to use this concordance, okay? So if this is the book, what in the world are all these things? Or here's an easy one. They arranged the wood on the fire is what that says.
And you said is that Leviticus as well?
It's Leviticus.
So would that be like chapter 7 and like a verse possibly?
All right, let's look. Chapter 7, verse 1. Let's look and see if we've got it right. Or is it the other way?
It might be the other way, because Leviticus 7:1 in the English is, this is the law of the guilt offering, it is most holy.
All right, so if it's the other way, it would be what?
1:7.
1:7.
And that's what it is. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall put fire on the altar and arrange wood on the fire.
So why in the world are they using the alphabet?
It's the Hebrew number system.
Because that's the Hebrew number system. So the aleph in Evan Shoshan is the chapter number, and then the number is the verse number.
And that makes sense since you're reading it right and left too. So we get a chapter and verse is how we do it.
Right. So this would say something he arranged on it, the burnt offering. So this would be what book?
Leviticus.
And it would be
Vav.
It would be a Vav. So what number would that be?
Leviticus 6:5.
Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav. So it would be.
I know the Vav is 6 very easily. Because have you heard of the Monster Energy Drink conspiracy? So Monster Energy Drink, it looks like Vav 666. And so I'm surprised you never heard about that. Yeah. So
wow.
It's the drink of Satan, the Antichrist. Yeah. So fun fact.
Okay, so is that right? 6:5, and we want he put on it the burnt offering.
Or anything about which he has sworn falsely, he shall restore it in full, shall add a fifth to it, and give it to whom it belongs on the day he realizes his guilt.
I think that's our one. What about this one? That would be 1:12, and it would say, the priest will arrange it on the wood.
And he shall cut it into pieces with its head and its fat, and the priest shall arrange them on the wood that is on the fire on the altar.
So do you see how these numbers are actually, that's a real thing using your alphabet? It's real enough where pre-computers, that's how the concordance works. They're putting the chapter numbers in the Hebrew numbering system.
That one on the bottom, where it has like the 9 in parentheses, that'd be like 8 going into 9, or like what does that
the verses are different in different probably songs.
Verses are different. So what would this Yud Beit 8?
12? Or is it 22? No, it would be, is it 12?
So Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zion, Het, Tet, Yud. Aleph Bet, so that would be 12. And what we want is arrangers of something.
What book is that?
What book is that?
Something.
So,
First.
first something. So how could we find the names of the Hebrew books?
Aren't they like the first words of the book?
They are.
Yeah, they're the first words. So maybe how we could find it is show the table of contents, and then we'll go here, and it should give us the names of the books in Hebrew. Oh, and it doesn't. So how could we find the name of the books in Hebrew?
I just clicked on the different books.
uh,
It looks like First Chronicles, but on this right.
well, let's try it then. First Chronicles.
Yeah, don't know if that's right or not.
So we'll go up, and
I don't remember what it looked like in the concordance. So. Nope, that's not it.
all right. So
First Kings.
It's not First Kings. So I tried that one too.
First Samuel.
Oh, let's know it is First
That's just
Chronicles
the
because
name.
First Chronicles is 3 words. It looks like. If you look at it, like it has the dollar.
you see what they're doing?
They're
D.
shorthanding it.
Right, they're shorthanding it. So the words of the days. All right, so it is Chronicles. All right. So we're looking for 12:8 to see if this is how it works or not. So it's 1 and then 12 verse 8. And this is the phrase here. So I don't know why it's
I think it's 8 in the English.
8 in the English and 9 in the Hebrew. All right. Would you grant then that numbers in Hebrew are weird?
Yes.
Okay, so what they're doing is called Gematria. So any culture that's not using an Arabic number system has to come up with another way to do numbers. And an easy way is Gematria, which is where you use your alphabet as your number system. So in English, it would be A is 1, B is 2, C, and then you get to like J would be 10, K would be 20, L would be 30, and then you get to like S, and that would be 100, T would be 200, like that. Are you with me? Do you have a question? So we know that modern Hebrews use Gematria. Do you have a question? Did ancient Hebrews use Gematria? So, let's see if we can find out. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the ESV. Well, why don't I do this numeric converter first? We may find that interesting. Open the ESV, And I'm going to look for the word Solomon. And so I hit return. And this will be my first thing, Solomon. And we'll do BHS. And we'll link these together. So we'll call this A, and we'll call this A. So I don't know why it does that. So can you find the word Solomon in 1 Chronicles 14:4? Well, you can. It has sympathetic highlighting on it now. So where is the word Solomon?
The one that's highlighted at the end of the verse.
Okay. So I'm going to take the word Solomon and what should I do now?
Or what exactly? What's the Gematria of Solomon?
What's the Gematria of Solomon?
Gotcha. Okay. I should go to that then.
So if I do the numeric converter and just type in the Hebrew word, it's going to tell me, and the way it's going to do it is it's just going to go through the words and say, this is worth 300, this is worth 30, this is worth 40, this is worth 5. You add all that together, you get 375. You with me? I bet you're wondering where this is going to go, right? Okay. I want you to type in 375 Proverbs. Just trust me on this. And it's going to pull this up, so I'm just going to click on it. And it's going to say, at chapter 10, a new division of Proverbs begins. The text contains the title, Proverbs of Solomon, which obviously points to the author of the material. The first great collection of Proverbs within the book, so 10:1 to 22:16, contains 375 maxims. And then the note is, Patrick Skin has pointed out that the numeric value of the Hebrew letters of Solomon's name is 375. So in this section, in the book of Proverbs, that says these are the Proverbs of Solomon, Solomon's name means 375, and there are 375 Proverbs. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe a coincidence. I'm not sure I'm convinced. Are you convinced? Maybe, maybe not. Well, let's try another one. Let's try the word Hezekiah. Hezekiah. And so it pulls up there. So where is the word Hezekiah in 28:27. Right here, right? So I'm going to copy it. What do I do now?
I'm going to take it back to the numeric.
Okay. And I'll paste it in. Oh, I'm double clicking on the English is why it's messing up with that. Well, it's actually not the one I wanted. Can you find where the word Hezekiah appears in Proverbs?
Uh, 25:1.
Proverbs 25:1. And we copy it. And it tells me that Hezekiah's name is 130. So what should we do? The 5 chapters contain 130 additional proverbs. According to 25:1, the collection was compiled during the reign of King Hezekiah. And what's the numeric value of Hezekiah's name there? Okay, so what do you think? Is that
What? It's on chapter 25 to 29.
so? Solomon's name means 375, and there are 375 proverbs. Then when you get to 25:1, it says these are the ones Hezekiah added. Hezekiah is 130, and there's 130 proverbs. What do you think? Significant?
Like, if that doesn't show you that, like, there is a divine author over it, I don't know what can. You know? I mean, not just that, but like everything we've talked about in the last 2 semesters with all of the biblical theology, like how like the Bible is just so perfectly intertwined. Like, there's no earthly author that could ever have accomplished that.
Yeah.
And the fact that like the Bible was written by a bunch of men, and it wasn't just one author writing all of it, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
So, practical, impractical, does it make you love God more or love God less, or is it like maybe neutral?
I don't say it makes me love God more, but it makes me in awe of Him.
Yeah. Does it ever help us in interpretation, would you think?
Having the numbers?
Knowing that writers may be playing with numbers in text.
Oh yeah. I mean, but I mean, like this with pretty much everything, it's very difficult to see in English, or
It's impossible to see in English.
Right, and so I think it just makes it even more apparent that you need to know the languages.
Right. The only way people are ever going to see anything, and it's only given if this is helpful, right? I mean, some of it's just kind of, I don't know, fun, maybe. So, like, what might we do here?
Try that in American.
So, what word is this?
That's Jesus. Or Joshua, depending on who you ask.
Right. So we just paste it in. What do you think?
I actually read a commentary when I was going through Revelation, how 666 is like the bad numbers we mentioned.
Nero Caesar.
7 is like perfect, and 888 is even greater than perfect.
Right. So the numeric converter even does the Nero Caesar one and does the Jesus one. And so that's how it works, 50, 200, 6, 50, 100, 60, 200. What's weird about that is lots of the manuscripts have 616, like half of them do. And the other way to spell Nero Caesar is without that noon. And so it seems like maybe some scribes were trying to correct they were making the connection that, hey, this is connected with Nero, but they felt like it was spelled wrong, so they're actually changing the number. If we just looked at the wider Old Testament interpretive world, do you remember when Lot gets captured?
With the 5 kings?
And they go off. What does Abraham do? Do you remember?
Chases and kills them.
Right, but what does he do first? He gets some people.
Yeah, he got.
How many is it? How many people does he get?
300? That sounds great. That was getting people.
Probably find out who was his name.
Yeah.
How many people does he take with him? Yeah, so where's that reference?
That is Genesis 14:14.
Okay. So when Jewish rabbis interpret the 318, some of the rabbis say it isn't 318 who go. They say it's just Abraham and Eleazar who go. Now, why would they say that? You do the Gematria, you put Eleazar's name in, and Eleazar's name is 318. So the Gematria thing was enough where it looks like the editor of Proverbs was playing with the number. Jews, in interpreting, played with the numbers. So maybe it's important, maybe it's not. Is there a story in the Bible that has numbers that's maybe confusing?
The book of Numbers.
Yeah, I walked into that. Totally walked into that. Maybe in the New Testament, is there?
Revelation.
Right. I was thinking of John. At the end of John's gospel, there's this really weird story. Same story that occurs in Luke 7, except Luke 7 is at the beginning, this is at the end. The nets break and both the boats sink. This one, it tells you, even though there were so many, the net didn't break and the boat didn't sink, and they got all the fish to the shore. But then John tells us how many fish there were.
153.
All right, and so if we, went there and we just started looking for interpretations, and we went to Jerome, Jerome would say, oh, it's easy. There are 153 different fish in the ocean. And so Jesus' disciples catching 153, the point is what?
To go to all people.
Yeah, every tribe, tongue, people group. Do you find a problem with that? Do you find that convincing or unconvincing?
Unconvincing, because I doubt there's 153 types of fish in that lake.
It seems like maybe Jerome's just making that up. And
You have to prove that maybe they're not that number, but at least that somebody believes that that was a number, like a scientist, a biologist.
yeah,
Somebody has to prove that from that time, and that was common sense.
That there were that number.
and
And I
that
assume, do you mean like different species of fish in that 153 different species? Is that what he meant?
maybe that's what he meant. I don't know. Augustine and Gregory the Great point out that 153 is the numbers 1 to 17 added up together. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. You do that all the way to 17 and you get 153. What do you think?
What purpose is 17?
And what might you say? First of all, you should check it on a calculator.
Right.
And if you do it, it is. So, what's 17? Ten Commandments and the 7 of grace. What do you think?
No.
I mean, it's weird that 1 to 17 adds up to 153.
But the Bible usually, when they're using metaphors like 144,000
Yeah.
and the Sabbath days, it's always about adding or multiplication. It never uses that. So
Like factorial.
yeah, so I don't think there's.
I don't, yeah, me either. Now, 17, I think, is a prime number. 1, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17. So what is that, the 8th prime number or something? Or the,
But if that was true, it would be that even.
It would be the 7, because technically one that nobody considers one a prime number.
okay.
So
So it's interesting, but still it's not doing anything for.
It's not going to be something that the people at that time would even try to imagine.
I mean, that sounds like a calculus class to me,
not the Bible.
not the Bible. So what's the first description of the people of God in the Bible?
Are we talking about the Israelites? The first description that they're enslaved as a people, that's the first real description we get of them.
It came about when Adam began to be great on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them. The B'nai Ha-Elohim saw that the daughters of Adam were good.
They were lustful.
They were good, beautiful. Just like Eve saw the fruit was good, they saw. Wonder what the Gematria of the phrase "the sons of God" are.
If you're always 153, I don't know what I would do. But
Tell me.
so that would mean that obviously the 150 meant something. And I mean, the verse from John is, "So Simon Peter went aboard, hauled the net ashore, full of large fish, 153 of them." And obviously, as we know, Peter's the one who goes to the Jews, who are the sons of God. And so it says specifically Simon Peter's the one hauling them in by himself. So
Help me.
it was Peter's job and duty to bring in the Jews into.
What if we didn't do it as the Jews? What if we did it as the entire people who are the sons of God? Does the net break? Does the boat sink? How many of the sons of God make it safely to the shore?
All
What do you think?
if you're a son of God, you are a child of God.
Child of God.
If you're a child of God, you're going to be protected. He's going to bring you to shore.
He's going to get you to shore. And doesn't Jesus say after the miraculous catch of fish, I think both times he said, I know the first time he says, follow me and I'll teach you how to be fishers of men. Doesn't he say that in Luke 5 or 7? I think it may be Luke 5 where that account is. So help me. What do you think? Interesting? Not interesting?
That was the 1-5.
Could it be that there's a lot more to the Bible than we even realize? Like, there's just cool stuff everywhere that you... Well, once you have an idea about something, what should you do after that? So we've looked at some Hebrew stuff. We've got an idea. What should we do?
Check commentaries.
Check commentaries. And how could we do that?
Just search by, I guess you would want to search by the passage you're on.
Yeah, we could do it that way. I'm going to take a shortcut. May explain 6:6 and possibly the 153. Word Bible commentary. It could, of course, be simply the exact reminiscence. I mean, that's a possibility. you can see they've kind of gone what we've done. They've even done more than we've done. I don't know, which one makes most sense to you? One that makes most sense to me is connected with sons of God. Isn't this P.T. O'Brien's? We were just talking about him.
It looks like it.
Numbers 1 to 17, what Augustine thought. I don't know. It's at least helpful to know that Gematria may come into play. Even if it's not right, it helps you kind of wrestle with the commentaries. If it is the B'nai Ha-Elohim, would that not also favor it being description of the people of God and not angels?
From the Genesis account?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Why don't we take a 5-minute break and we'll jump in and we'll do our reading.